What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 15 of the 2026 MLB Team Preview series. We have reached the halfway point. Today, we are going to focus on the Arizona Diamondbacks. They have been very active this offseason. However, first, as always, shout out to W Energy. They are sponsoring this video. I, as always, have my W sitting here next to me. I got the Retro Sherbet Jitterless Energy Blend, as well as the Grapefruit Citrus Hydration Blend. Both of them are incredible. Go check them out. Link is below in the description. Use promo code BATBOY, get 10% off. I'm telling you, it's awesome stuff. Go try it. You'd be silly not to, because it is very cheap. You get 10% off, and it's very good. Go check them out. All right, let's get into the Diamondbacks. 2025 recap, they went 80-82, finishing 4th in the NL West. They have just one playoff appearance since 2017, only 2 appearances since 2011. They've won 90 games just once since 2011, haven't won the division since 2011. They did, however, ride a magical offseason to the World Series in 2023, ultimately losing to yesterday's episode featured team, the Texas Rangers. Not sure what to make of it. They've been really bad for a few of those years. They've been pretty average for some of those years. They just really haven't taken that leap. Could this be the year? I know the division's getting tough. The division has gotten extremely tough. But let's get into it. Notable transactions for this offseason. They acquired third baseman Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals. They also signed a trio of starting pitchers. Zach Gallen re-signed for 1 year, $22 million. Merrill Kelly, 2 years, $40 million. And Mike Soroka, $7.5 million. They signed a trio of relief pitchers as well, or acquired a trio of relief pitchers. Paul Sewald for 1 year, $1.5 million. Taylor Clark, 1 year, $1.55 million. Got that extra $50K. And Cade Stroud, they received in a trade from the Orioles. They also signed catcher James McCann for 1 year, $2.75 million. They lost outfielder Jake McCarthy to the Rockies. Infielder Blaze Alexander was traded to the Baltimore Orioles, as well as a relief pitcher Kyle Backus traded to Philly. I think this is a huge net win. They did, however, there are some injuries that we need to discuss with a couple of these guys. But I do think they made out pretty well. I'm very interested to see what Nolan Arenado has left in the tank. Spring training, start with some injuries. Corbin Burns, starting pitcher. And then relief pitchers Justin Martinez and A.J. Puck all had Tommy John surgery last year. They are all out until at least the summer. Martinez is out until at least August. So who knows when they're going to come back. Who knows what we're going to get out of any of them. Corbin Burns is important to this team. I think that's the biggest loss. Actually, all 3 of those guys are really vital to this team. So that's going to hurt a bit unless they can tread water and get those guys back at the end of the season. That could be like a huge trade deadline addition, but we'll see. Outfielder Corbin Carroll, who I've talked about a few times in various other episodes. He had the Hamat bone surgery. He's questionable for opening day, as well as starting pitcher Merrill Kelly, questionable for opening day. He has back tightness. They are reporting that they think both of them will be ready, but I don't know. And then outfielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. tore his ACL, had surgery in September. He's out until at least July. All right, some of the spring training storylines. Age is pretty much the item that I had first in my notes. They have a projected infield that consists of Carlos Santana, Ketel Marte, and Nolan Arenado. Now, Ketel Marte, not too old, 32, but he's been in the league for a decade now. Carlos Santana will be 40. Nolan Arenado will be 35. He's been declining over the last couple years. Marte's still at his peak powers right now, but can Arenado bounce back? What does Carlos Santana have left at all? In 2025, Arenado hit /237, 289, 377 with 12 home runs, 52 RBIs, and 107 games. That's okay. It's not MVP, Nolan Arenado, but we don't really expect him to be MVP, Nolan Arenado. Carlos Santana last year, 219 with 11 home runs, 54 RBIs, and 124 games. Again, I don't know what to expect out of these guys. Arenado's still elite defensively. He's not as he once was, but his current defensive state is better than 95% of Major League Baseball just because of when he was at his best. I mean, won 10 Gold Gloves in a row. So That is not the issue. The issue has just been his bat hasn't been the same over the last couple of years, as he's now entering year, I think, 14. Jordan Lawlar, time? Question mark? His taste of Major League Baseball has not been good. He has played he's had a total of 97 at-bats over the last 2 seasons. He's hit 165 with 37 strikeouts. Awful. However, in that same 24 to 25 window, he dominated minor league ball, slashing 314, 407, 530. OPS plus of 937. That's impressive. 13 home runs, 70 RBIs, 26 stolen bases, and 344 at-bats, which is pretty much half a season. So you double that up, you got 26 and 140, give or take. I'd say if we get 25 and 100, dominant. But it hasn't translated to Major League Baseball, not even remotely close. His strikeout rate needs to come down. The bat has been dominant in the minors, but he still strikes out a bunch. He had 103 strikeouts and 344 at-bats, as well as the 37 and 97 in majors. It's got to come down. He's got to stop striking out. I know it's a lot easier said than done, especially me sitting in this comfy chair in my office. But with the Corbin Carroll injury, depending on what happens when he's going to come back, I expect Lawlar to get a ton of playing time. He probably will, regardless. He's slated to be the starting left fielder. Time's going to tell if he can actually translate into Major League Baseball, but he needs to get a full season. This, kind of taste here, taste there. You got to give him consistent at-bats, and that goes for every minor leaguer, especially the highly touted ones that are used to playing every day. They need consistency. Bring him up, give him a year, give him a couple years, see what he's got. Ryan Waldschmidt is another guy that I want to watch. He could get some more run, and it's more contingent on the Corbin Carroll injury, I believe. He's Arizona's number 1 prospect. He's the number 59 overall prospect, according to MLB.com. Ridiculously impressive plate discipline. The opposite of Lawlar. His strikeout walk is almost a 1-to-1 ratio. 96 walks in 130 games. He slashed 289, 419, 473 in 2025. So he's got the on base, he's got the average, he's got some pop. Hit 18 home runs, 29 stolen bases. We got 20/20 upside. He can play all 3 outfield spots effectively. He's primarily a center fielder in the minors. They say he's got the arm for right field. He's got the bat for both corner spots. If he gets some run, he could be the guy that we think Jordan Lawlar was going to be. Jordan Lawlar has been a top prospect for 3-4 years now. Waldschmidt could be the guy that turns into what we thought Lawlar was going to be, and if that's the case, win for Arizona. It doesn't really matter who it is as long as they get the production, if we're being honest. So that's what I'm going to be watching in spring training. Position battles to monitor. Starting pitcher. Injuries have forced this issue with Burns, Kelly, Blake Walston all going down. Zach Gallen is an X factor. He was excellent pretty much the last 3 years leading up to his contract year in 2025, where he was atrocious. However, if he can return to any resemblance of that form, he's the ace. And then you got Ryan Nelson, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt, Mike Soroka. Those guys are fine to fill in. Merrill Kelly should be, if not ready for opening day, I would say by the middle of April he'll be back. That's a big win. If you can get any start out of Corbin Burns, that's a win. They also have a guy named Cole Drake in the minors, who I really, they received him in a trade from Texas. 6'5" lefty, sits in the mid-90s with his fastball. Struggled a bit in 25. However, put it this way. 2024, he was excellent. 2.29 ERA in 106 innings, 148 strikeouts, just 31 walks, which was down from 20 walks in 46 innings in 23. That's a big drop. Started striking out a bunch of people. 2025, they started accelerating him through the minors. Hit 3 different levels. And similar to what I was talking about with Jordan Lawlar, they need consistency. When you're bouncing around to different teams, you're integrating with different players, it takes some getting used to. Even the best of them could get into a little bit of a funk. Just they don't know where they're going to be the next day. He struggled a bit in 25. Still had high strikeout rate, 106 Ks in 89 innings, but a 4.23 ERA. But again, this was over 3 different levels. He was moving around a bunch. Outfield. Once Corbin Carroll is back, he's obviously a right fielder. Then you got Jordan Lawlar, Alec Thomas, Ryan Waldschmidt, Tim Tawa, Jorge Barrosa fighting for 2 spots in the outfield. I would say Jordan Lawlar and Alec Thomas will get the first crack. But should they struggle, you got Ryan Waldschmidt, who we already went over. Tim Tawa, there's another guy that I like. Tim Tawa's got some serious pop. He played 142 games in AAA in 2024, had 31 home runs, 90 RBIs. Excellent. 22 and 75 in 2023. Came up in 25 with the big league team. Had 7 home runs in under 200 at bats. Did strike out 64 times though. Big time strikeout rate. Hit 201. Give him a full season. Chances are he's not going to get a full season because he's buried a little bit in the depth chart. But I do believe in Tim Tawa. I would like to see what he has. I think he's probably going to be first in line to fill in should Lawlar struggle, should Thomas struggle, should Corbin Carroll actually miss time. I think Tim Tawa is going to get that first shot out of the Waldschmidt, Barrosa, Tawa bunch. Player focus. I chose these player focuses a long time ago. Corbin Carroll was my guy. I was really excited to talk about him, especially when I had planned this whole thing out and I saw the schedule lined up with essentially the start of the World Baseball Classic, and Corbin Carroll I thought was going to be the underrated diamond of that team. Obviously, we're not going to see him out there. I think we're being robbed of being able to watch Corbin Carroll play with that band of superstars for Team USA. I think he's extremely underrated. I think he's one of the best players in the sport. But the Hamat bone surgery in February, making him question for opening day, obviously pulled him from the World Baseball Classic. What's not talked about enough when we discuss the league's best hitters is Corbin Carroll's consistency. It's been marvelous. 23 to 25, his 3 full seasons, he had Rookie of the Year. He's been an All-Star twice. He's won a Silver Slugger. He's had 2 top 6 MVP finishes. Finished with 10 triples, 14 triples, 17 triples in each of those years, along with 25, 22, and 31 home runs. He's got speed. 54 stolen bases, 35, 32. He's got speed. He's got pop. He's got gap-to-gap power. He's 30 doubles 2 of the 3 years. He's led the league in triples all 3 seasons. OPS plus of 132, 133, 106, and 140 in his career. He's just been so good. He's very deserving of a Gold Glove. I think that's the one thing that he's missing right now. He's one of the best defensive right fielders in the sport. The problem is he plays the same position in the same league and actually in the same division as Fernando Tatis Jr., who's won the Platinum Glove in 2 of the last 3 seasons, which ironically were Corbin Carroll's 2 best seasons as well. In 3 seasons in right field, 279 games, he's made 2 errors and 682 chances. He is probably the second best right fielder in the National League. He just unfortunately has to go up against pretty much one of the best defenders the sport has to offer. But we don't talk about Corbin Carroll enough when we're talking about the greats of Major League Baseball. 2026 outlook. I think the injuries to the starting pitchers and the age of the infield is a cause for concern. I think they're going to be in the mix with San Francisco, with San Diego for wild card spots coming out of the NL West. It's going to be a brutal division. We know the Dodgers. We know what they can do. Back-to-back World Series champs. Oof. Probably not going to be able to compete with them unless something really drastic happens. But there's going to be a fight between Arizona, San Diego, and San Francisco. Ultimately, I don't think Arizona's going to make the playoffs. I just think there's too much star power coming out of those other 2 teams. And should Merrill Kelly miss starts, should Corbin Carroll miss any games, Jordan Lawlar continue to struggle, Carlos Santana and Arenado show their age, Ketel Marte struggles to maintain that level of excellence that he's held over the last 3 seasons. I think there's just too many dominoes that need to fall into place for this team to really compete with those powerhouses in the NL West. That is all I have. Shout out to W Energy. Link is in the description. Promo code BATBOY, 10% off. Tomorrow, we are back with the Minnesota Twins. Thursday, the launch of the World Baseball Classic. If you haven't caught that episode, go to my page. Check that one out. It is probably the best episode I've done so far. It was the one that I've been most excited about over the last couple weeks. So please do me a favor and go check that out. Give me a follow on TikTok at the Batboy MLB. Same name on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share, tell your friends. All the fun jazz. I appreciate every one of you for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.